Hi, welcome to the workshop. And rather than a layout tour or a sort of workbench tip, it's a bit of a Hilton and Mears without the Mears. Although the funny thing is, this did start as a conversation with Chris. The feelings I have towards this layout and a reflection about it. And Paxton Road started out as an experiment, if you remember. You know, those of you who regularly read the blog will recall that the challenge was set by a reader who thought that I couldn't build a cameo layout, a 00 style cameo layout in N-Gage in half the size. And so, you know, although what's produced has surpassed even my own expectations, I thought you could, and that was the catalyst behind it. And the scene was evolved from inspiration from the first Model Railway Journal compendium, photos at the back of the Barnstaple cement terminal and Barnstaple goods yard. And so the idea sort of came together at the same time that as I started to explore possibilities of modern N, and I'd acquired a few items of rolling stock and a Class 31. And so, you know, over the months, the idea of building something with fellow modeller Paul was explored, and we lived too far apart ready for it to sort of reasonably happen. And so I started to collect this stock, and I wanted somewhere to play with it. I had the track, I had the British Fine Scale track, and the idea of just doing something dead simple in that small space, half the size of the 00 cameos, really appealed. And so what we've got, you know, is two sidings representing a small yard, a bit like perhaps the corner of a yard, rather than a whole yard. And by moving the turnouts and point work off stage and using a fiddlestick, I've managed to keep the size small. But the two sidings and the magnetic DG couplings mean you can really play with this and switch or shunt, depending on your persuasion, stock around. And what obviously I learned very early that the operational aspect of this really suited that sort of 15-minute operation. So I think if you've seen my December 23 article in Railway Modeller about Pontarddulais, which used to live here, actually used to live there and then lived here, and went to a new home in February. That layout was about being able to turn the lights on as I can here, you know, after a day of work and get lost in the scene. But more than get lost in the scene, I can shuffle a locomotive around. And to be honest, you know, that could even be during a tea break, coffee break, lunch break, or whatever, you know. So I'm very lucky to have all this at home and work here in the workshop. So that instantaneous operation through the layouts build meant that I'd already got the feel for the fact that, you know, two sidings, no turnouts actually was working really nicely for me. And, you know, I think I spoke about at the time, you know, this is how quick I can get to it. It's just literally there. You know, this the Motive Power pocketbook, my train spotting book. I wasn't really a train spotter, but I used to love poring over this and looking at the colourful photos of the sectorisation liveries that were just appearing. This is 1990, you know, at the height of that, and for me, and I had sort of what was then Modern Image Lehman locomotives in the current liveries and things. So that I always enjoyed the colourful, speed link era wagons. So, you know, wagon load traffic in small, in modern looking wagons, but, you know, quite colourful and a collection in a train that, you know, wasn't uniform. And so this layout gives me the excuse to do that. Obviously, it's a total work of fiction. You know, there's absolutely nothing prototypical about, in this case, a methanol wagon, you know, a van. I've got a cement wagon I've labelled up for chemical traffic here. You know, it just appeals to me. It's just pure fun, you know, and I love this layout. I really love it. I knew I'd enjoyed building it, but it's the fact that it's still here, and that, you know, I can turn the light on. I might not have played with it for a couple of weeks. I can turn it on, and instantly I'm transported back to sort of those memories of childhood, but I'm kind of not lost in the past. I'm sort of reliving them in the present, and that feeling of being mindful is such a wonderful gift. And I think that this layout has allowed me to explore that, you know, much more often than I would have otherwise. And it's just always here, always available. Its size meant it got finished in terms of its artistic creation, but it's not finished for me. You know, it's here. I enjoy it. I enjoy collecting things for it too. And, you know, how many of us have that sort of guilty pleasure of seeing something and then fancying just that sort of retail therapy almost. I kind of almost at it because it feels like a bit consumeristic and perhaps not where we should be going. But I'm buying things to keep. These aren't consumable items. I'm going to enjoy them. I'm collecting them for my own pleasure. And if they feel like they need a new home, I quite often clear things and sell them on and pass them on to to you guys watching, but also via eBay and things. So it's recycling as well, and not all the stuff on this layout is new. There's things that I've bought second hand, and I do that if I can, especially with some of the older Farish wagons that you just can't find new in the liveries that you need. So the idea. So a couple of weeks ago I picked up the ICI tanker, which is a new release from Farish on their old tooling. Just because I liked it. So what? Fitting DG couplings took perhaps 5-10 minutes, and it's now on the layout waiting weathering. But they were often clean, so it doesn't look out of place already. And the ability just to do that and to enjoy that for the sheer pleasure of it is just so rewarding. I'm not getting lost in prototype research or you can see just below here, Gerald Road. I'm enjoying Gerald Road, but it's a very different project and it's requiring a lot of me into the research and then building the structures, which I'm also enjoying. But, sometimes you can't beat having a model railway, a train set. It's a train set that looks amazing. You can take a photo of this and I could perhaps fool you into thinking it's bigger than it was. I love the artistry. I love what I've created. I love the palette of colours. I love the composition. I love the tree at this end, the cement this end. I think I love everything about it, and I love how it makes me feel. I love making how it was created. What it means. I love the connection it's given me with people across the world. I would say, if you haven't got a model railway in your life, and you love trains and you love model railways, you're just collecting. Oh, I'll build it one day. I'll get round to it. Then find a space in your, even in your study, above your desk, somewhere where you can fit one of these IKEA shelves in. Other brands are available, and build something. It doesn't have to be what I've built. It doesn't have to be artistic. The simple pleasure of a locomotive shuttling backwards and forwards is wonderful. You can find your own path with this. But yeah, it's a real gift. This hobby is a total gift to all of us who enjoy it. And, I hope you've enjoyed me waffling on. It's a different style of video to perhaps what we normally share here. And that's why I say it's a bit like a Hilton and Mears. And who knows, Chris and I have chatted about this. We speak, try and speak every week, despite the North Atlantic being in the way. And, I'm sure he'll answer this in some form, whether it's on his blog or on a video of his own. So, thanks, Chris. Thanks for the encouragement and the inspiration. Thank you all for comments and watching and whatnot, and the encouragement for these sorts of slightly left field videos. I just love how I can be honest with you all, and hopefully my passion for what I do comes across when I talk about this. I'm not stupid. I know that it's not just what I create, it's how I created it and how I share it with you that you all enjoy. So hopefully long may that continue. My energy for this hobby, for this passion, I hope does inspire others, because that's not through me wanting to be big ego. It's me wanting to share something that I really love and really am passionate about. So as I say, if you haven't got one but you love trains, perhaps have a look around your own space and see if you can ignite some of that same energy that I get from this every day. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed me waffling on. Do consider subscribing if you haven't done already. But yeah, any questions, comments, reflections, I love interacting with you all, so by all means leave them. But until next time, I'll see you again soon.